to save him. Shockwave was available. Now he gets pulled in. Daeruin is in trouble. He will go down. Archie will follow. There's going to be Demeco once again locked up. Daeruin's the focus. He was going to get pounced on. Will go down. Carbon on towards him. Archie the final target. That's the ace. Darker, no mana on him. And Cathian's surprised. Is it enough to take him down? Demeco tries to lock on towards him. Does not matter. It's a triple picked up.
Welcome back to the International Wildcard Qualifier. In our last match, Legacy Esports picked up a second win by taking down Russian Force. And it's a wildcard tournament, and these teams are wild. So much fighting going on again. And Carbon actually said it in the interview as well. We just like to fight. We just like to pick fights, even though sometimes we might do it too early. But in this one, it was all perfectly timed.
Yeah, well, pretty much from the start of the game, they just got a lead. Like, Darker died one-on-one in the mid lane. He fell very far behind to Choo-Choo's on Orianna. It was like 4-0 after, what, 10 minutes? And Russian Force simply, obviously because they have all these subs here, played much like a solo queue team, which was perfect for Legacy, simply because we will always be able to fight and just catch you out of position, which they did, and just kill them over and over and got a massive lead early on.
Yeah, for me, Darker didn't really look comfortable whatsoever in that mid lane. Seemed a little bit ropey, whether that's just nerves getting to him or whether he's just not all that familiar with having that mid lane role on him. I mean, Choo-Choo's been great both games now, but that last performance on Orianna, we saw, I mean, it was a death gap ahead of Darker, and once you skip that mid-game point on Orianna, it's just going to be a whole load of pain, and they didn't really look back, to be honest, once they got that lead.
Nope, and what I found very interesting from Legacy Esports as well, they now banned out the Alistar and Zilean themselves. They went for a new team comp, and they just had a plan totally ready, even for this team that they don't really know that much about, which I think was more comfort in this level than it was banning out things that they played, probably.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, first picking Maokai is not really rocket science anymore. He is so strong. Orianna is always a safe blind pick for mid lane as well, so therefore it makes a lot of sense. And they just play the standard meta stuff, which we see all the time. So pick and ban wise, we can't really say too much. I mean, we know they like to play Shyvana from a Minky Whale and not a Milky Whale, like I said in their last one. We know he likes to play Shyvana. I would love to see Shyvana Orianna. It worked for them in the finals, but no reason to pick it yet. Maokai, whenever he's open, you pretty much lock him in every single time. So the comp they had didn't even matter because they simply dominated Russian Force so hard, and just from the start. Only issue maybe was the fact they did the same level 1, which actually meant they had to flash away from the red buff because they once again like lane swapped and invaded red buff, and Russian Force were ready for it. So maybe they have to be careful they didn't like follow the same pattern every single time, but they just look so dominant.
Things to be careful for, possibly overconfidence there. We heard it was almost too easy, which I think is a dangerous statement to make halfway through the day when, you know, even if they do manage to win today, there's still that best of 5s and a lot can happen overnight. So I think they need to be a little bit wary of that one until they actually win that best of 5, if they get that far. Don't want to get overconfident halfway through the first day.
I agree, because again, Immunity last year, out the gates, very strong day 1, and then they kind of faltered. So hopefully they don't make the same mistakes as they want to make it on. Now, at the start of the show, we asked you which international wildcard team do you think will win the spot for Worlds and why? And here are some of your answers. The first one is from @ItsExon. I think Team Legacy will win this wildcard tournament. Their communication and team fighting is a force to be reckoned with.
Well, that's pretty much what we've seen in the first 2 games. As soon as they get to team fights, they just completely destroy the other teams. They know how to play it, the comps are built around it really well. So at the moment, easy enough to say they are. They look like the favorites. I did have Dark Passage as my favorite before we started here because of the experience they had, and I felt like as a team they've been looking very good this year. But Legacy has really surprised me, and at the moment they deserve to be 2-0.
Second one is from @PureMetallica. DP improved themselves in Turkish Grand Finals once again. They will dominate every game and buy a ticket to Worlds. Now, they haven't dominated every game yet, but I certainly think that there's room for them to still step up.
Well, to be fair, they've only played 1 game, so there's still quite a way to go. This next game, obviously, is going to be the real test with both teams at 0-1 after losing games to Legacy. So this next game will really show us who's, right now it looks like, in contention for that second position.
And also remember the game against Legacy from Dark Passage. They had a very good start, got a goal lead. As long as they don't take these bad team fights and get some wards down on the map, actually in the mid to late game, they might be able to beat Legacy. So in that case, the next game we're going to have, if Dark Passage beats Russian Force now, is going to be pretty much the final going into this one here, and that's going to be very exciting.
Very exciting indeed. The last one is from @RockerOnX, obviously Legacy Esports, because Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Any comment?
Pastry time.
Pastry time. Shout out to Pastry Time there from the Fish Show. Well, thank you guys for sending those to us. And remember, you can keep tweeting about your favorite wildcard teams with @LOL Esports throughout the tournament. Now we're ready for our next match, so let's head